It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that tries to take the mystery out of your financial life. I am Jill Schlesinger, your host, CBS News business analyst, and a certified financial planner. If you've got something going on in your life that even remotely touches your money, get in touch with us. Go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the air, just check the box, and Mark will do everything else. He's the best executive producer in the whole world. Let's get started with Dee Dee, who's on the line from Pennsylvania. Hello, Dee Dee. How are you?
Good morning, Jill. Thank you. I'm great.
All right. What brings you to us?
Well, my husband thinks we don't have enough money to retire. I listen to your show daily. After hearing your advice to others, I think we do. I'm trying to talk him into retiring. I need your confirmation to do so.
Okay. So we are doing this not really for you, Dee Dee. We're doing this for your husband, who, let's make up a name for him. So give us a name that we'll just call him. We don't want to call him out because he hasn't agreed to come on with us. So make up a name for your husband.
Let's call him George.
Okay. Dee Dee, tell us about what you earn right now.
Currently, I'm not working, and my husband currently earns $220 a year plus bonus.
Okay. And how old are you guys?
I am 57 and he is 67.
Oh, he wants to work forever, I guess. Okay. Do you guys have kids?
No kids, just dogs.
Okay. Yeah. See, Mark, you see what I'm attracting? The people who just are dog lovers. This is like the adults with money and dogs. That's what we got. How has George saved in terms of retirement? What's going on for you guys?
Pre-tax 401k is $1.23 million.
Okay.
A traditional IRA at $700,000.
Oh my goodness.
A Roth IRA at $18,000. A brokerage account with $414,000. We have combined cash of $470,000.
Oh, you're ready for Armageddon, right? I don't know what you're ready for, but you're ready for something. Maybe you want to buy something. Okay, 470. I'm with you.
All right, and then I have a traditional IRA with $400,000.
Okay.
We have no pensions, and that is it.
House?
House paid for, worth about $750.
Going to stay there in retirement, do you think?
Yes.
Any second home desires?
No, none.
Why you have all that cash? just out of curiosity. It seems like that was saved for a purpose.
As I mentioned, my husband just thinks we must need a lot of money to retire. I don't know.
Do you guys spend a ton of money? I don't know why. Mark, isn't this terrible? I just out of the blue thought to myself, they don't sound like they spend a lot of money. I don't know what spending a lot of money sounds like, but I didn't actually sense that in you. Do you know how much you actually spend?
Yeah, I did the high side. I figured out about $72,000 a year.
Oh my gosh.
Bye-bye.
Am I really giving my notice? Bye, George. What's the Social Security benefit for George?
Okay, at age 70, he'll get $5,000 a month.
Dee Dee, why is he so nervous? You know you have plenty of money.
Well, I
What's
agree
going on?
with you. He just doesn't think we do, and just can't talk him into pulling the plug.
It seems like there's something else going on. I'm not a shrink, but let's be clear. Let's just pretend you said, well, we don't spend 72,000. Like maybe let's make it a bigger number just for fun, right? Let's say it's 100,000. Let's just do that. Well, no matter what, his Social Security is going to cover about half of $100,000. You have a whole bunch of money in retirement accounts, some of which you're going to have to take out anyway in those traditional accounts, right? Mm-hmm. Forget about you have enough money to retire. You're never going to spend all your money. So I think there is something else going on. I think he's nervous about not working. That's what I think. What do you think, Mark? Doesn't it seem like, is there something else happening here?
Yeah, sometimes people have a hard time adjusting to, not having that steady paycheck coming in. But they have more than enough assets to call it quits and live the life that they're living.
Absolutely. Even if he said, let's say it makes him nervous not to have a paycheck. Okay. So he's already 67. He's already at his full retirement age. let's just say for fun, he says, do you know what his Social Security benefit would be right this second?
No, that I don't have.
All right, let's just say it's like, 4,200 or something. Let's say that you just said, oh, let's take our Social Security early. And let's just pretend it's next year you've retired. Okay, so now we have $4,200 a month pre-tax. And then we're going to just pull a chunk of money out of the $1.23 million. We're going to have to start getting money out of this account. And you're going to take some money out and you're going to pay tax on it. And you're going to say, hey, George, we actually we're pulling money out. We're getting paid the same amount of money you were making. And we're doing a smart thing. We're getting the money out at a tax level that is reasonable. I think probably the best bet would be if you actually play this for him and you hear what he has to say, something else is going to surface. That's what I think is going to happen. Has he been in the same job for a long time?
Yeah, he's been at the same company for 30 years.
This is deeper. Could he be a consultant at that company?
I was thinking that as a suggestion, do something
like even to say to the
part-time.
guys, yeah, right? Like just say to the owner, like, I love it here so much, and I really want to do whatever I can, and like it's like a smoother transition. Then it's not 100% or 0%. Maybe that's the way to thread the needle. And then, like for example, here we are, it's 2025, and he has this conversation. He says, by the end of the year, I want to, go work 3 days instead of 5 days a week. And then maybe he does 3 days a week next year. And then the next year it's 2 days a week. And then the next year it's done. Maybe that's the way to try if they're amenable to it. Usually in a business where someone's been so loyal, I think it's often the case where they're like, great, stick around and we don't have to pay you so much. When you said 72 grand a year, did you, for yourself, include you need health insurance? You would need health insurance.
Yeah, I budgeted when I looked online, it would be about $600 to $800 a year. I mean, a month.
Yeah.
And I did budget that in.
Okay. I mean, really, you're in great shape. I don't know how to do it any other way, but I think it seems to us that you're in great shape. We just have to understand what it is he's afraid of, because it's not a money thing. Absolutely not. There's no way, because you're good. You guys are great. Maybe you should bring him back on with us. Listen, if you play it for him and he's like, okay, fine, great. But here's the invitation, George. Come back on with Dee Dee and we'll walk you through some of the math. And then you'll tell us what's really going on, because it's really probably just a fear. Dee Dee, you got your estate docs done?
Yes, we actually did those completed a couple months ago. But I do have a question for you regarding myself.
Sure.
Should I take Social Security at 62?
I mean, look, it's probably not financially the best decision, but if this could get George off the, help him get over the hump, and you say to him, well, you collect your Social Security at 67. In 5 years, I'll collect mine. That's a good chunk of money. Like, if that's helpful for him just to have that cash flow and it'll help him make the decision, then I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But otherwise, I would say wait till your full retirement age.
Okay.
If you're considering a big change in your financial life, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and check that box if you want to join us live. Jill on Money. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are here trying to help you make better financial choices. So if something's going on and you need another set of eyes and ears on the situation, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and of course, if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. While you're on the website, sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday, and Mark does a great job assembling the stories you may have missed during the week. Also on the website, you'll see a link to our subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. For $45 for the next 12 months, you will be entitled to join us for quarterly live webinars, the back catalog of all of those webinars, and a lot of bonus audio and video content. It's all there for you on the website, Jill on Money Live. Right now, we are going to talk to Miriam, who joins us from the Pacific Northwest. Good morning, Miriam. What can we do for you today?
Well, I am not very experienced in finances, and my husband and I are edging towards a late retirement, not an early retirement, and most of our funds are in Fidelity. I am wondering if I should, because I have such limited knowledge with finances, if I should really take the offer of the hybrid advisor role that Fidelity is offering me. We've met with a financial advisor there 3 times now, just trying to figure out what might be best. I really just want some outside advice. So I'd appreciate any input that you guys have.
Sure. How old are you, Miriam?
I am 66.
And your husband?
He's 71.
And you guys are both still working?
Yes, we're both still working.
How much money do you earn right now?
Right now, 0.
What do you mean 0? You said you're still working. You don't make money?
Right. Well, because primarily we live in a tourist-driven area and we're coming up on the tourist season.
Oh, I see.
Our money, because of our life, our living, that I'm an artist and he owns a cafe, our money is kind of hit and miss. It's not like we have a regular salary. Sometimes we earn.
If you look at 2024, the taxes that you just filed, what was the earning? What amount of money did you earn last year?
In 2024, we didn't earn any money, but in years prior, we've done quite well.
Huh. This is very odd. Okay. Has your husband, is he collecting Social Security?
He is.
How much is that? You made that money.
Right. It's about $2,200.
And what about you? Are you collecting yet or no?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to collect till I'm 70.
Okay. And at 70, what will that amount be?
About $1,750.
So how are you supporting yourselves? You've got his Social Security. What else in terms of like how you are paying your bills? Are you pulling money from a portfolio?
No, I'm not pulling money from a portfolio because we own a commercial building. We have extensive kind of cash savings associated with keeping that afloat. That's how we kind of live in the off season.
I see. And how much is that commercial building worth?
That commercial building is worth about $600,000.
Is there a mortgage on it?
No, we own it outright.
Okay. In that building, is that where the cafe is?
Correct.
And are there other renters in there?
We have one other renter in there, and we also have a short-term holiday rental in there as well. And also my art studio is in the same building. Okay.
So on an annualized basis, how much money does the commercial building take in?
Directly to us, our current renter is only paying about $475 a month, something like that.
Okay, got it. How much money do you have in the commercial savings account?
About $90,000.
Okay. And what about your own savings, like just your personal, not the commercial building?
Right. I personally have $40,000, maybe a little bit more than that.
You and your husband, or do you have separate accounts?
No, we have separate accounts.
And what does he have?
I added his number into the commercial, and probably for his personal, I think he has around 20,000.
Okay, so like 70 and 20 in that commercial. Right. Okay, gotcha. So tell us what's at Fidelity.
At Fidelity overall, and of course it's changing rapidly.
Yes.
We have around 312,000, so not a ton. That's including the IRAs.
What's in IRA? What's in non-IRA? Let's break that down a little bit.
In the brokerage account, there's 190,000. In retirement, I have 102,000, and my husband has 23,000.
Any other assets outside of the I'll get your personal residence in a second, but the commercial building, 2 savings accounts, the Fidelity brokerage, the retirement accounts. Any other assets?
Yeah, we have 120,000 in a CD that will be, we'll need to do something with it at the end of June.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what about your house? What's that worth?
We live in a land trust, so we don't outright own our house, but we have what's called a renewable lease, a 99-year renewable lease.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pay approximately about $800 a month for a house that we helped build. Then our daughter will also be able to inherit that.
Wow.
Though I don't know that she'll want to, but that'll be an option when we die.
Okay, this is fascinating to me. So if you were to pass away, you two, and your daughter inherits it, but she says, I don't want it, is there any terminal value to that lease?
No, the whole idea about the land trust is that you're not making a profit.
Got it.
With the sale. It's to keep the whole thing affordable for anyone else buying into the land trust. And we really like that.
That's cool. That's very cool. I mean, also, by the way, it's very affordable for you, right? I mean, $800 a month.
Right.
Pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, no, it is.
Does that also include your property taxes or not?
Yes, that includes everything.
Oh my gosh. It's incredible.
Yeah. Another thing I didn't mention is we have an additional commercial lot next to our building, and that's worth about $120,000.
Is there any reason we should keep that?
Well, we like it, and it's being used right now with my husband's cafe.
It's being used, but
as like an outside eating area.
Oh, I got it. So, okay.
Yeah.
You've got, it would appear, low expenses. Do you have any idea what your total spending is?
It's less than $4,000 a month.
It's less than $4,000 a month. So let's just, can we call it $4,000 a month?
Yeah.
Just because? Okay.
And that's pretty much the number I gave to the advisor from Fidelity.
Okay. So essentially, your husband has $2,200 a month of Social Security. So a little more than half of what your need is. I know it's pre-tax, but that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's just pretend you guys both retired right now. Explain to me what happens to the commercial building and the lot. Like, what would happen?
Assuming that we're both in good health, and we are,
like
we
you
are
just
right
say,
now.
Yeah, you're like, okay, we're done. We're just exhausted. We're done.
We're going to rent out those spaces and create an additional living space upstairs that we can rent out on a month-to-month basis. So ideally, the building will bring in maybe $3,000 a month, something like that.
We'll get back to Miriam in just a minute. If you've got retirement concerns or any other financial concerns, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Write us that note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. In fact, while you're on the website, just bookmark it because we refresh our content all the time. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are trying to help provide you with lots of different options for big decisions in your life and your financial life specifically. So if something is going on, get in touch with us. Don't do this alone. We're here for you. Just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Write us a note. And of course, if you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. Also on the website, you'll see we've got a blog. We've got 2 podcasts, videos, resources, all there for you. So JillOnMoney.com. That's where you find our stuff. Right now, we're going back to Miriam from the Pacific Northwest. Is there any thought to saying, well, we have $720,000 locked up in equity in these 2 properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
The building and the lot. Have you given any thought to selling them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what's the argument against it? Because I would presume having the access to that money might be very handy, especially as you get older.
Right. And also then I could give our daughter some money for her future building project.
Totally.
Yeah.
And how old's your daughter? I'm sorry.
Almost 40.
Okay. Is she married, single? Was she?
She's single, but she has a good job. She's on around.
Single with good job. Okay. I like that. I mean, look, you've got a bunch of money. When you met with the financial advisor, tell me what they told you about the situation you're in right now.
They told us that we could eventually retire, because actually I was thinking we were never going to be able to retire. And our goal is he wants to retire at 75 and I do too, and he's 5 years older. What she suggested was that we allocate our funds differently than how they're currently allocated now. Mm-hmm. And in that, taking more cash, because we have quite a lot in short term, and putting it more into stock. Mm-hmm. And that would allow us to raise.
It would grow. It would
grow.
Money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, look, I think you're in very good shape.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah, I do. It's because you don't spend any money, right?
Right.
You have very low expenses. So if you spend, let's look at 2 different scenarios. One is you've got the brokerage account, you got the retirement. What level of cash makes you feel comfortable? Like, don't do the commercial savings, like your savings plus what amount of money do we need to have that makes you feel comfortable? 50 grand, 100 grand? What is it?
If we didn't have the commercial building?
Just in general, like
in general.
Yeah.
We came up with a number of about 55,000.
Okay. So let's think about it this way. The CD comes due. You already have 40 grand in savings, right?
Right.
So let's just say that you, in the short-term cash, let's say you put 60, you take of the CD, you say, let me take 20 grand of the CD that comes due, right? And put it in our short-term cash. So then instead of having 40 grand, you have 20 grand from the CD, and now you have 60 grand, and everyone's happy, right? Mm-hmm. Then you take the 100 and you add it to your brokerage account. So now instead of having 190 in your brokerage account, you have 290 in your brokerage account, right?
Right.
Okay. And then the brokerage account and the retirement account, we'll talk about the allocation, but those are kind of that's the ability for you to kind of pull some money out. Maybe we'll take some money, a little bit of money, especially in a year where you're not earning any money. Like last year when you didn't earn any money, I'm hopeful that you took some of the money out of the retirement account and just had it taxed at a really low level. Would be ideal for you. If you have another year where you have like very low earnings, like let's just say the cafe breaks even, makes a little bit of money. You don't sell any art, but you have essentially, I don't know, you have his Social Security. Maybe you're making like 50 grand all in. Okay. In that kind of a year, you should be pulling money out of the retirement account, another, say, 30 or 40 grand. That keeps you in the 12% tax bracket, and you can live on that money. And, he's going to have to start taking money out of his retirement account soon. And the requirement of the tax code is RMDs have to come out, right? So in a year when you don't make any very low income, I would seek to take money out of the retirement account, use that money to live on. You don't have to like dip into any of these other things. Just use that money and make it very easy. And then, frankly, if you did that for the next 4 years, maybe 5, depending on what his story is. But like, you just don't need that much money. You could pull a little bit of money out of your retirement accounts together over time, and that'll supplement his Social Security, then your Social Security, right, 4 years from now. And you'll be in very good shape. And presumably you won't really even have to touch the brokerage account at all. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, obviously, if you were to do this yourself, you would have to have some sort of allocation game plan. I'm going to have Mark walk in to this conversation with us now. Mark, stop eating your almonds or your cashews, whatever you're doing.
A mixed nuts today.
Oh, it's mixed nuts. Okay, very good. Mark, what do you think an allocation could be for a brokerage account that would be worth, let's just call it, almost $300,000 for these folks? What do you think?
I don't think they need a ton of risk at this stage of the game. I mean, 50-50, even 40% stock, 60% bond is fine with me.
How do you feel about that level of risk, Miriam?
I'll tell you what the advisor said. She suggested.
No, I want to hear from you first.
From me?
Yeah.
I'm actually comfortable with more risk.
Oh, look at you. She's a player. Okay. So, like, how much more?
70-30 is what I was thinking.
That's crazy.
Is it?
Why would you do? Well, I don't know. I wouldn't do it for myself.
Okay. That's good.
I would do
good
mostly six. What did the advisor say?
She suggested also 70-30.
I totally disagree with that, but that's me. I guess you could do that, but like, let's just presume it's 3 months from now, and your $300,000 is worth. You make the allocation changes, and now your 300 turns into 220. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, that doesn't make me feel as comfortable. Ideally, right now is what I thought we would have more risk, and then as we edge towards retirement, to have less.
But you don't even need to take the risk. What's the point? We'll finish up with Miriam in just a moment. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
If you've missed any part of the show or want to check out a past show, go to JillOnMoney.com for more great personal finance content.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. And boy, it has been a rough month or two for all of us in our financial lives. A lot of uncertainty. You don't have to go through that uncertain period alone. If something is going on and you need our help or you need a hand holding, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, or check the box if you'd like to join us on the air live. Right now, let's conclude our conversation with Miriam, who's on the line from the Pacific Northwest. Your downside risk is a much more significant risk for you than your upside potential. So, I don't think you're going to spend all your money. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't do it because at this point, you can basically have this thing grow over time, have a nice balanced portfolio, even if you decide to go 60 stocks, 40 bonds. Let's just say you do that. And it grows and it grows and it grows. And let's say, in 5 years that it is worth not 300,000, but it's worth, I don't know, let's just call it 350, right? And let's say your 70-30 had you done it, would be instead of 350 would be, I'm just making up numbers now, 400. The extra return that you would get on the upside actually is not meaningfully going to change your life. But if we go into a long protracted bear market, which spooks you, and it's a recession, so your real estate isn't worth as much, your accounts aren't worth as much, your business sucks, all those things happen at once. It would seem to me that that is a risk that is far more impactful on your lives than the upside potential. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Currently, we have about 37 in domestic, 4 in foreign, 11 in bonds, and 46 in short term. So,
well, yeah, the 46 is too much. I get
too
that.
much, yeah.
My 2 cents would be the most amount of risk I would have would be 60 in stocks and 40 in bonds. Mm-hmm. I'd probably be more comfortable at 50-50. And it certainly makes sense that when the CD comes due and when you add that money to the brokerage account, you start to create an allocation that looks more like 50-50 or 60-40. And you can do that with index funds. Now, we talked about at the beginning, you said, do I really need this advisor? Are you willing to shoulder the risk of getting this done? Meaning that, are you going to stick to this game plan, or are you going to get freaked out if the market goes down?
No, I'm not going to get freaked out.
Mark, should they hire an advisor or not?
I mean, I don't know. It just depends on her comfort level. How
She seems like she feels comfortable. I mean, look, what if
you
you sold?
Try it.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I was thinking. What if I did it for a year and kind of watched? I mean, I am very curious that if I had done it last year, what would this robo advisor or the advisor be doing? Like, would some of my lost money in the downturn have been not lost? I don't know.
You know what would happen. We can backtest anything. If you were 70-30, then you would have made money in 2024 and you would have lost more money in the beginning of 2025. But that doesn't mean anything. That's a year. That's a sliver. It's a moment in time. The question is, will you be committed to letting your money do what it can do without messing around with it? See, my only concern about you doing it yourself is that you don't mess around with it if markets start moving against you. That's my main concern. And the other thing I would just point out, because I can, and I'm here, it's fine to do it for on your own for you. You can see how it goes. Get a plan together to get that money invested when that CD comes due, and you can start putting some of your brokerage account cash to work. I would do it also in the retirement account, making sure you're invested. But I would also be very clear that when that CD comes due, you're going to have to get that money to work. So why don't you commit to saying, I have $100,000. I have to put it to work. It's either going to get done immediately, or you're going to dollar cost average, putting a certain amount of money into your allocation each month, right? And you say, by the end of the year, I want to be fully invested. If you feel like you're not going to be able to do that, or you're dissuaded by market movements, then working with someone can be really advantageous. It can just get you moving towards your goal. That's what I think is critical. I would not do, I'm sorry to say, 70-30.
Right.
And also, I would very much consider, as you approach your retirement, whether or not your money would be better off being put into a brokerage account rather than being tied up into a commercial property and a commercial lot. Because, again, as you get older, you might want that money. You might need that money. If something happened to one of you and you needed care in your home, you wanted to pay for it. There are things that might happen that would require liquidity. I just think it gives you a lot more options. So it's worth thinking about. And as you edge towards late retirement, I think the takeaways are: get your cash to work, use the money in the retirement account, your husband's first, start pulling money out of that account, enough money to keep you in the 12% tax bracket. So for this year, that tax bracket, the top of that is $96,950. Okay. So you pull out enough money, you get that money working for you.
Okay.
Like you said, if you want to do it, you want to hire this person, go hire them. But if you don't want to, you want to try it for a year on your own, that's fine. It's totally fine. It's really like you guys have to make that decision.
No, I know. We're trying to actually be more proactive at this point. So,
yeah. I mean, I get that. And I just wanted to, point out the obvious, which is, as you enter this period, losses are more meaningful and hurt you more, like your psyche and your actual life. Losses hurt you more than gains will improve it. Are you worried that recent events have upended your financial plans? Do you need guidance as to what options you should be considering? If so, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back. You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are answering your financial questions. If you have one, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. Hey, while you're on the website, don't forget, all of our content lives there, including a link to buy my book, The Great Money Reset. Now, I wrote this book after conversations with all of you during COVID and the years before that. But this is a great book for anyone who is considering a big change in your life. 10 bold steps to turn that kind of chaos into opportunity. So check it out. It's The Great Money Reset. All right, let's do an email. This is from Warren, who writes, what do you think about buffered ETFs? That's exchange traded funds, gang. Warren goes on to write, I'm nearing retirement. They look like they might be a suitable product for someone like me. In retirement, I plan to enact the 3-bucket strategy. Bucket 1 would have 2 to 3 years in cash, and buffered ETFs sound like they may be a great option for bucket 2, where I can get some upside with the market while limiting my losses on the downside. What do you think? Okay, for everyone listening, Warren brings up an interesting idea because these are products, these exchange-traded funds, essentially do exactly what Warren says, meaning that they're usually linked to an index like the S&P 500, and then inside of the fund, the manager would buy options contracts, which would allow them to kind of limit the downside. These kinds of products have been around for a long time. Yes, they come in different wrappers. The idea that you want some upside, but limited downside. But the problem that I have with all of these kinds of funds, whether they're income-linked annuities or anything like that, these are all products that actually cost a lot of money. If you look at a lot of the buffered ETFs, they've got an average expense ratio of around 0.8%. And I'm not sure it actually is necessary, Warren. What's the difference between this kind of strategy and you enacting your own diversified portfolio allocation? Sometimes simple is really better. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show, and we'll be answering more of your questions in just a moment.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are answering your financial questions. Right now, let's talk to Anna, who's on the line from the Southeast. Hello, Anna. What's going on? How can we help you out?
Hi. Great. Thanks for having me on here.
Sure.
I was interested in talking to you because I am a current federal employee who is facing potential termination along with many of my colleagues, which was not something we had really seen coming as of a couple months ago. My husband is similarly suddenly at risk as a researcher at a big research university with NIH funding. So I thought this would be a nice time to just sort of do a quick checkup of where we are at financially.
Well, I wouldn't say a nice time. I would say it's good time to actually check in. Nice would be actually say, something good is happening. So, Anna, how old are you guys?
I'm 54. He's 57.
Are both or either of you entitled to pensions?
Yes. Well, potentially. So he is at the age of 69. He's from another country. And at the age of 69, it would be about $2,000 a month.
Would that be taxable in that country, not here? Like, how does that work?
Yes, that would be taxable in that country, which is a very high tax country. So
okay. Is $2,000 a month the gross amount, or would it be a much lower amount because of that tax?
No, that's before taxes, I believe.
How much? Like $1,000 a month would he clear, you think?
Yeah, I think I would say that.
Okay, great. Now, you are a federal employee, so you also would be entitled to a pension, presumably, yes?
Well, it depends. I have returned to federal service just 5 years ago after 16 years in the private sector. If I can make it to my minimum retirement age of 57, which is at the end of 2027, at that point, I would be eligible for a reduced pension of about $1,500 a month. And if I can make it to age 62, which would be the very end of 2032, then it would be $2,800 a month.
But you're kind of not even considering that at this point, just in case, right?
If I make it through, that's, I think, the big question. I've been assuming I would make it at least 2.5 more years to that minimum retirement age for the reduced pension, mostly because of the ability to then carry health insurance on into retirement. So my goal would be that. However, this might be out of my control right now.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's just, the one thing we do know is that in 12 years, your husband gets this old pension that kicks in. And let's not look at this with your pension at all. Right. So Anna, what have you guys saved so far?
So just starting with what we've got right now in brokerage account and cash is about $767,000. And then in various, we've got a mix of IRAs, 401ks, and TSPs that total right now about $2.4 million.
Oh, that's a lot of money. Good for you guys. That's all traditional, right?
Except for about 80,000 is one of the Roths TSPs. And then, no, I'm sorry, I actually misspoke. 210,000 is in Roth IRAs, but the bulk is traditional.
Okay. Got it. So brokerage and cash, 767, retirement, 2.4. Any other assets that are out there besides your home and things like that, but anything else?
We have 529s for our 2 teenagers.
Oh, how old are those teenagers?
13 and 16.
Oh, my God. Got a lot going on, huh?
Yes, indeed. So
529s. How much money is in those?
Total of 360,000.
Ooh, that's a lot of money. And they're both college bound, presumably. Yes. Are you still contributing to the 529s?
Less. I slowed down contributions at the beginning of the year, knowing there might be some uncertainty with our jobs.
Do you have parents that you need to be thinking about in terms of their financial security?
The ones who are in the other country, no. They have quite a good social safety net. I have an 82-year-old father, so I may need to, but at this moment, no.
Okay. For now, no. How about a house? Do you guys own your home?
We own our home.
And how much is it worth approximately?
As of yesterday, it looks like about $1.6 million.
I love that you're like, as of yesterday. Yesterday.
Everything in my life is subject to change day to day, it seems right now.
I understand. I guess that is true anyway, but we don't live that way. Is there a mortgage outstanding on the house?
Yes, about $740,000 outstanding.
What is the interest rate?
3.5.
Okay. And this is a place where, you have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, so you want to stay there at least until the kids are through high school, right?
Ideally.
If you were to lose your position, like in the next round, okay, would you be employable doing something else? Because you said you did work in the private sector. So I'm trying to get a sense of how much money should we really have in cash? How long might it take you to get another position? What do you think?
So in the past, I would have said this would be no problem. However, in the last 2 months, the whole sector in which I've had my 25-year career has effectively been dismantled, anything in global health. So it's really not clear to me at the moment what the next path would be.
Okay. What about your spending right now? What does that look like?
So I would say I did some quick estimates this morning, and I would say maybe $9,000 a month. Maybe we could bump up to $10,000 to cover things I might not be thinking of, something like that. And I also forgot to mention we do have a rental condo as well.
Tell me about that. How much is that worth?
That's worth about $200,000, and the remaining mortgage is $36,000.
Is it rented out? Is it?
It is.
And how much cash flow does that provide?
It pretty much breaks even.
That's it?
Yeah.
Is there any reason why you were keeping it? That's where I'd move my dad if I had to, or something like that?
No, it's just I've had the same tenant for about 10 years, and
you're the salt of the earth, and
Yeah,
Haven't
I'm
needed
so
the
kind.
cash.
Aren't
Yeah.
you nice? Would you consider selling the condo?
Yes, I would.
Would your renter be able to buy it, you think?
They have thought about it, but haven't wanted to. So,
Okay.
but I would be able to find a buyer, I'm sure.
Okay. If we had to handicap what you and your husband could maybe make, if I understand your current positions, you would not be making the same amount of money, obviously.
Right.
Right. But do you have a sense that you together could make enough money to cover your spending?
I think we could. I mean, the house is the big expense, obviously.
Of course.
And so I've always assumed that downsizing would very much be on the table should we need to.
Right. But on the other hand, you want to stay in it for now.
Yes.
Because we have to get these kids through high school, right?
Yes. But,
Okay.
We could stay in the district in a smaller house, certainly.
Oh, you are getting to I can tell you're serious right now.
Mm-hmm.
The question at hand is, what do we do if we both lose our jobs now? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll get back to Anna in just a minute. If you want to get in touch with us, go to JillOnMoney.com and click Contact Us.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. And before we went to the break, we were on the line with Anna from the Southeast, a federal worker really feeling some pressure.
Are you putting any money right now into the 529?
About $500 a month now.
Okay. And the amount of money that you're putting into retirement right now, what is that?
For me, it's 5% of my income, which is the minimum required to get the full match for the TSP.
And what about
he has reduced his quite a bit this year, also as we've been looking forward and concerned about where.
So both of you, that was the first thing I was going to say, which is stop doing your 529 contributions.
Okay.
Just put in up to the match for both of you.
Okay.
You guys are in this is the emergency. Let's gather up some cash mode. Okay.
Yes.
So I agree. That's on. In the brokerage / cash, how much is cash and how much is invested?
I believe right now about 150 is in cash. He just made some changes this week.
He, the broker, or he, your husband?
My husband, sorry.
Okay, so he's managing it.
Yes.
And right now, the benefits you receive are through you, and not him.
Right.
Is it? Okay, I got it. He is a citizen or he is a green card holder?
He is a citizen.
Okay, so he will have Social Security, correct?
Yes.
So let's just run through some of those numbers. So Social Security for him at his, do you know that number? It's 67? Oh, great.
It's 67. For him, it's 2,400.
Okay, great. And what about at age 70?
3,200.
And for you?
For me, at 67, it's 3,800.
Mm-hmm.
And at 70, it is 4,900.
I presume what you had thought was, hey, we'll just wait till we're 70. We'll have a bunch of money coming in, plus his little pension, and, we'll dip into our investments as we need, and we're good, right? Basically. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're still good. Calm down. You're going to be okay. You're still good. That's what I want you to take away. The most important thing for you to hear right now, besides that my voice sounds terrible, is you're fine. We have a terrible situation in terms of you have a short-term issue, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I think that the game plan would be, I'm going to give you the worst case. The break the glass scenario is you work for as long as you're going to work, but let's just say by the middle of this year, you're both out of work.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. But in that case,
You have your income that you've made for the first half of the year. What do you guys make together, by the way?
About 280.
Okay. So let's just pretend as of June, you both lose your jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we are going to try to do is we are going to start taking some of the money, because your husband is, you said he's 57, right? So he's got some money that is he in the 401k or thrift savings plan? What does he have?
He has both.
Okay. So as long as he has one of those two, he'll be able to invoke the rule of 55, meaning he'll be able to tap his retirement account, not IRA, has to be a qualified plan. He'll be able to take some money out. So let's just pretend that you've made $140,000. He'll take another, I don't know, let's call it another $100,000 out of his retirement account. You'll pay the tax that's due. You're not going to change your tax bracket. You're just going to pay it. Right? You're going to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll live on that. And in that interim time, you'll see like basically what kind of income you're going to have, whether you'll get a job, whether you won't get a job, what your real cash flow will be, what it won't be. But you could kind of do that if you guys get so jobs that instead of making $280,000 a year, instead you're making half that. Together, you're making $140,000 or $120,000. What you need to do is pull money out of his retirement account in the interim, pay the tax that's due on that, and live on that money. You don't have to save any more money. You really don't. Now, you can do that for a while because obviously the money that's in your 401k and your thrift savings plan, you got a lot of money in there. So it is highly unlikely in my mind that for 10 or 13 years or 15 years that you're going to need to pull out $100,000 a year, and we inflate it, let's just say every year. I don't think you'll have to do that every year. I think you will have a job, and I think you both will have jobs. But I think in the near term, the game plan would be use the money from your retirement account while your income is low, pay the tax that you, because you in a weird way, you had this funny problem, which now doesn't seem like a problem. It's like now it's not a bug, but it's a feature, which is you had money that wasn't taxed, and it was going to be growing, right? And I was going to sit here and say to you, oh, you guys have a ticking time bomb. You're going to have to get some money out of your retirement account.
Right.
Now, fate may force you to take money out of that retirement account. Right?
Okay. Right.
Okay. And so you take it out. Don't worry about it. You have plenty of money. You're going to be fine. Honestly, you could spend half of your retirement money. You know, you could go from 2.4 to 1.2 in the next 10 years, and you still have money left over. And then you will get Social Security. And you probably will have jobs. And so I don't think this is a real problem. I don't think you are not in a break the glass scenario right now.
Okay, good.
I really don't see that. One thing to just note is because he is managing the money, if either of you loses your job, do not roll over your 401k or your thrift savings plan into an IRA rollover. You have to leave it where it is. This is one of those few times where I say, you know what? Don't roll it over, because you cannot invoke the rule of 55 from an IRA account.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay. Now, I know this kid's going to college, right?
Yep.
You're going to freak out about this? Are you going to be like, oh my God, I have to pay for every single dollar? Don't worry about it.
I know we know which state we're talking to here.
Right.
Doesn't that state have like a really good college incentive program?
So we're very fortunate that we currently live in a state where, with their grades right now, they would be able to stay in state and have tuition essentially covered.
Oh my God, that would be great.
That's what I'm hoping right now. Yep.
Oh
so
my
really good
God.
schools, and could not go into any debt or use all of that 529 money.
Yeah,
Okay.
then you'd have another $300,000 maybe.
Yeah, and also, of course, just to be clear, that's why you really absolutely should not put more money in there.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
So here's what we're not doing immediately. You're not blowing out of your condo immediately. You're not blowing out of your house immediately. You're sitting still. If this happens this year, no big changes this year.
Okay.
Just wait. Just wait to see what happens. Because listen, I know this rental condo, you probably had it for a while.
20 years, over 20.
Okay. So if you were to sell it, it seems like, let's say you sell it and you're like, oh, I netted $170,000, right? But then you have to recapture. You've been depreciating it. There's a tax liability. It's not that much money. It's not like an amazing amount of money. I would tell the renter, I would give them notice that like, hey, we love you. we're not doing anything. Just want to let you know. And maybe they know that. Maybe it's implicit because they know what you do. But like the blank's hitting the fan. And so, we're going to reevaluate this.
Okay.
And we'd love it if you could buy it. If you want to buy it, great. And if you don't want it, maybe they're also in the same industry. Maybe they're federal workers. But, I just think it would behoove you to not make a massive slash and burn kind of move, like sell everything and go to cash. You don't need to do that.
Okay.
You got a lot of money. You've got a lot of money. When we say like the rainy day fund, this is your rainy day fund. You've done it. So it stinks because you weren't expecting it. And certainly at this point in your lives, but you thankfully did the work of saving and investing and building up your total net worth so that when this rainy day has now arrived, you can say, all right, we got plenty of umbrellas. We got our galoshes. We're good.
Excellent.
All right.
That is very encouraging.
All right. Now, if you need anything else, if the hammer comes down tomorrow and you want to call back, I want to hear from you. You have an open line to us. Really.
Wonderful.
Do you guys have those estate documents done?
We sure do.
Thank goodness. All right.
Yep.
If you're feeling pressure in your job and want to run a scenario by us, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click Contact Us.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are trying to help you figure out what happens next in your financial life. Right now, let's talk to Laverne and Shirley from New York State.
Ladies, what's happening? What can we do for you?
Well, my wife and I, we've been planning on retiring in September of this year when our house is going to be paid off and we'll both be 61. But the last 2 weeks has made us really nervous and anxious. And now we're not sure what we should be doing.
We're approaching the time when we got to let our employers know. And
okay. I was just going to say, what do we have in terms of like what the gun is to your head because you want to make sure you give enough notice? When do we have to really make the decision by?
We think probably mid-May, we need to know.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we've got a month. So let's see where you stand today. Let's do that. Are either of you entitled to pensions or both?
We are not.
Okay, so no pensions. You said the house will be paid off. What's the house worth?
It's worth about $400,000, and we've got about $6,000 left on our 3% mortgage.
Oh my God! All right, so that's that. That's all done. Is that the only real estate you own?
It is.
Okay. How have you saved for retirement? To give us some of the breakdown, the numbers, and the types of retirement plans you have.
So with TIAA, I have a 401k worth $752,000. It was worth more last month, but
okay, calm down. It was worth a lot less 3 years ago. So think
exactly.
of it that way. All right, so that's a traditional, right?
It is. And then I have a tax deferred annuity that our employer kind of put us into when I started it. I'm at a university. And that's worth $95,000, but will provide $1,230 per month for life.
At what age do you have to trigger that? At 61?
Any age. I could start. Yeah, I could start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So 750 traditional TIAA, tax deferred annuity, and the monthly amount. Okay. That's one. Okay.
And
what else?
have a Roth IRA worth $10,000. CDs of $25,000, and I have a TIAA intelligent variable annuity that I purchased with my inheritance. It was like $100,000 when I started, and now it's at $212,000. And then I have an inherited IRA that's worth $16,000, and I got that. It predates the 10-year rule, so I take that. I just take my RMD each year, which is anywhere from $600 to $800. And Shirley's got a former 401k that she rolled into a TIAA IRA that's now worth $294,000.
Okay.
And then we have a couple of large portfolio accounts also held at TIAA. One is more bonds. That's $988,000.
Hold it. That's all post-tax money?
Yeah.
It's inheritance, yes.
Okay, so that's $980 in bonds. Is that in like the TIAA bond account or a fixed account, or is that an annuity and like the actual TIAA, the annuity side?
No, it's not the annuity side. It's a portfolio account that's managed by TIAA.
Got it.
Kind of an asset mix, but it leans a little more heavily towards fixed or bonds.
Okay, got it.
And then we have a second one of those accounts that's now worth $961,000. And that's got a little bit more of an equity mix.
Would you say between those two accounts, which is, $1.9 million, what do you think the overall breakdown is? Do you think these are 50-50 overall in terms of allocation, or do you think they're a little bit more bond? Are they more like 60 bond, 40 stock?
Right now, we looked at kind of our overall asset mix.
Yeah.
And it's 6.7 guaranteed, 43 equity, 34 fixed, and cash is 14%.
That's a lot of moolah. You guys have done great.
Well,
Can't take a lot.
Yeah, we did some, and then we were born to the right people and got inheritance. Yeah.
Well, okay, that's the wealth transfer that everybody's been talking about, right? Anything else that we should know about? What about cash?
We have cash. Our total cash holdings are at about $380,000 with $100,000 in CDs. We had been holding $200,000 aside to do large house renovations. We want to stay in our home, but now we're a little paralyzed by fear with that too. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have just $30,000 in the bank, just in our checking accounts.
What are you going to do for health care when you retire?
Well, that's my previous employer left me with retired out with a RIPA account, a retirement health insurance premium account worth $130,000. That can only be used to pay insurance premiums, which is
amazing. Amazing.
So we are hoping that will carry us through till Medicare and beyond.
Absolutely. Amazing. Fantastic. What a cool benefit. I love that.
Yeah, really obscure benefit.
Right. I'm sure that doesn't exist anymore. I guess it was probably replaced by the HSA, but they probably put that away for you. You didn't probably do it yourself.
That is absolutely true.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is great. You ready for the most important question? Oh, wait, do you guys have kids?
No.
Okay, no kids.
Lots of furry animals.
Good. Excellent. So how much do you guys spend, do you think?
We've done a really deep dive on this, and we spend around $8,500 a month, but that includes $12,000 a year on travel. So our spend is really $7,500, but we build in $1,000 a month.
Good.
Travel.
What's the Social Security benefit look like?
At 67, mine is $3,124, and at 70, it's $3,900. And Shirley's at 67 is $2,880, and at 70, $3,574.
Mark, how do you think these millionaire ladies are doing? I think they're doing pretty well. What do you think?
They may be concerned over because of the last couple of weeks or so, but I'm not very concerned.
I'm not either. Do you do you like your jobs?
It's been a great career, but I feel like I've had enough. I feel like I'm ready to do something else and, kind of taper. I've got some projects I'd be working on, but I think I'm kind of done.
I mean, I was going to say, without the inheritance, it would be a different answer, but the inheritance is a game changer.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money you guys have, whether it's, those two managed portfolios plus the inherited assets and the fact that you have that nice health insurance coverage for the future. Your cash is great. Look, I think, and also, by the way, the tax deferred annuity, that'll kind of ease the burden to begin with. But I don't know. It feels like you're in very good shape.
We'll get back to Laverne and Shirley in just a minute. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
If you've missed any part of the show or want to check out a past show, go to JillOnMoney.com for more great personal finance content.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. If the recent market volatility, the ups, the downs, all of this is too much for you and you want to retest some of your old assumptions about the future and your plans, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us that note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. Right now, let's get back to Laverne and Shirley.
Is it going to make you nuts if you give your notice? Let me ask you this. Let's say you give your notice and the market goes down another 20% from where we are today.
Oh, my God.
Are you going to freak?
It'll make one of us more nuts than the other.
Because, I mean, I can't say that's not a possibility. That is a possibility, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'm sorry, but let's say that did happen.
You hear the groan.
I hear the groan. Oh, my God, what is she saying? Here's what I think. You've got a portfolio that is, you're basically 60-40, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so your bonds have done well already, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the equity's gone down.
Less poorly, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, not less poorly. Bond prices went up. So there is that. Okay. So in that respect, you're not necessarily going to take a 20% hit to your whole portfolio. But let's just say that you did. That, Mark, what's their total assets right now? Let's see. 2, 3, like 3.5 million?
Yeah, I think it might be
maybe 4.
Yeah, more like 4.
All right. So there's $4 million. So let's just game it out a little bit. Let's say you go to 3.6 by the fall. And are you taking all of that money out at once? I don't think so.
No.
You don't need all that money at once.
No.
So what would happen is, it would be a drag. I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but maybe I would say get the money out of your TIAA, the traditional TIAA. Let's get it out of there. Let's take it out and start using that to live on. We'll get that account finished up. You'll use that to live on. While you're doing that, all the other money is going to keep working for you. It's going to keep going. You're not going to zero. You're not going from 4 million to zero. You're going to be able to do this. The other thing that you could do potentially is, if you're really freaked out about it, is you could even annuitize the traditional TIAA 401k, because you're in traditional, and you could basically say to them, give me equal payments from that account for the next 10 years. They'll let you annuitize that. That plus the TDA of the $12.30 a month, that might give you a little bit more comfort. That's like you're not pulling money out as things are going down, 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 down. You might say, okay, we know that we have the bulk of our needs met through the money that's coming out of the traditional TIA plus the TDA, and we don't have to touch anything else. And then that gives you plenty of time to recover. Do you work with a financial advisor?
We do. Through TIAA, we have an individual who we've worked with for many years.
And you like this person?
I think so. We kind of tried to shop around when we first got the inheritance, and we didn't have much luck. We met with some people, but they kind of wanted to pick stocks, and it really made us nervous. And
tried to claim they could actually game
the market.
Yeah, right. We're so smart. Great. I would do this. I would talk to your TIAA person. Also, I'm going to give you the name of somebody that I'd like you to talk to, who might be able to create a game plan for you where you could do a combination of annuitizing these fixed assets that you hold already, giving you a lot of more comfort. If you really don't want to tune out the roller coaster, and that you're getting, I don't know, let's say you're 80, let's say you're taking $10,000 out a month, and you're feeling good about that. And it's basically gets you everything you need. And then you can tune out the rest of the noise. Maybe that's the better way to approach this, and you leave the bonds alone. You know what I mean? You leave a lot of this other stuff alone, and you don't really freak out as much. And that way, if there is some major market loss, you're not feeling like you have to go in and invade it and markets are down. Why would we do that? Maybe that's a better way to approach it for you guys.
I don't think I've ever heard you recommend an annuity.
Well, you have the TIAA annuity, okay? Mm-hmm. You have the 401k. TIAA is an incredible product. In this particular case, if you're anxious, it may be worth it because you're already in this product and you already own the tax-deferred annuity, right?
Yeah.
And you already have the TIAA variable annuity. Like, you already have 3 annuity products that you own. Because that exists already, maybe that gives you more comfort. I think it's worth considering. You're in this organization. So I think it's worth at least considering it. You know what I mean? That would make sense to me. So why don't you talk to the person at TIAA? Mark is going to follow up with you. He will send you the name of somebody who I think you may want to talk to. I don't want you to, like, you're in such good shape, but I understand the volatility is very worrisome. I think maybe a way around that is to lock down the fact that you can cover your fixed expenses and not worry if the market were to tumble another 10 or 15 or 20% from here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah.
I'm into, like, let's give you peace of mind. Let's give you peace of mind. Let's get you out of here. Now, guys, do you have your estate documents done?
We do. We have to, we're just in the process of renewing our beneficiary forms on things, but we do. We have a will. We've got all that stuff.
All right. Perfect.
If you've got a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we have been inundated with your financial questions. I think that all of the news flow has really made people retest their previous assumptions. So if you need some guidance, don't hesitate. Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter while you're on the website, and check out our other broadcasts. We've got 2 other shows called Jill on Money and Money Watch. They are podcasts, and you can get them on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Before we finish up the program, here's a question from Kate, who asks, given all the disruptions in government programs lately, do I need to be worried about the FDIC being dismantled? Should I look at the loan-to-deposit ratios of the banks where I have high-yield savings accounts? I hope to retire soon, and that's where I have all of my safe haven money, the money that I hope to live on during turbulent market times. Well, Kate, I understand the concern, but I do not believe that the administration would tamper with FDIC because you know what? It really does help all savers. And just look back to Silicon Valley Bank, where there was a bunch of rich people who were about to lose their money because they had more than the FDIC limits at that bank. And then the government was sweeping in to bail them out. I think there'd be a real problem if FDIC limits were tinkered with or if any part of the program were dismantled. Remember, the money in the FDIC program, it actually comes from banks themselves, and it helps protect all of us. So I'm hopeful, and I really don't think that that's going to be something that we're going to see big changes in. Look, they might fire a few folks there, but I don't think they're going to dismantle the program wholesale. Well, that is it. That is our program. If you've got a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and of course, write us that note. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer. He's also the web king of the JillOnMoney.com website. We ask that you do something nice for someone else today. It's going to make that person feel good. It's going to make you feel good. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.